Well, I mean, that's the whole goal is you're trying to have a shot at the end. And, it always comes down to the last week. So we still got a lot of volleyball left to play. We're going to have to win some big matches. And then hopefully we can, set up a great final week of the Big Ten season like it was last year where teams are playing each other for the Big Ten championship. So we've got to work hard to stay in that. And again, it's right now the theme I gave them yesterday is we are grinding for results. Okay, you got to grind every day right now for results at the end, and you just can't, turn it up the last week. So, even though our team was dressed in costumes yesterday, I give Ani Evans the best costume. So you can check out Instagram to see what she looked like. But I gave her number one. Caitlin Horde was a close second. Whatever she was dressed as, I still don't know what it was. But they practiced the whole practice yesterday in costumes, which. I think 20 years ago, you want to ask about change, that would have never happened. But it's a new age. So I just take a deep breath and go with the flow.
Having costume day help with that grind and kind of that monotony that gets this part of the year?
It didn't help me, but I guess they enjoyed it. So a couple of them were flopping around in these costumes. It seemed like it was hard for them to move, but I didn't say anything. And all I know is Whitney, I would have given her number one. She had a football jersey on with Cook on the. So I'm not sure which jersey, what team it was, but whatever football players, and the last name's Cook. So she scored points on that one.
Do the coaches dress up, John?
No.
It's too bad.
Any more questions for Coach?
John, the stats would support that this is one of your better blocking teams, but do you think that this would rank among one of the better teams in the net that you've coached here?
Yep, no question. We're physical at every position. We have really good blockers. I think Caitlin Horde's leading the nation right now in blocking. Part of that, she's next to Whitney twice. We're just a very physical blocking team. And, what makes that stat even more amazing, and we've had when you have a lot of sweeps, you're not going to get a lot of blocks. When you get in longer games, you'll have a chance to get more blocks. So so we feel really good about that. But we're working on it every day, trying to get better, trying to get our serving better, our floor defense better, and then like Brent asked, we got to find a way to win some close games against the top teams. That's what it comes down to.
John, obviously you don't want to lose any match, but when you do come up short, is there a silver lining that kind of a reminder that they have to bring it?
It's not a happy reminder, no.
I mean, what kind of lessons can you learn?
Well, I mean, we didn't play. Wisconsin took it to us, so we kind of had to regroup, refocus. And I told like I talked about is you get knocked down in sports. You're going to get knocked down. It's how you respond, and we responded really well against Maryland, and we're looking for the same thing this week. But there's no more room for error this season. I mean, we've got to win. And like I tell them, winning owes us nothing. You've got to go take it. Winning is not going to give you anything.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
go. So, see it. All right. Okay, tough loss on Saturday. You know, the boys really hurt after this one, so the coaches. But this week we just had to get back to work. You know, I'm confident that they'll come back and bounce back this week. We talked this morning, and they guarantee me that they're still ready to go. They're ready to get after it and be the best team on Saturday. This time of year, you know, we're dealing with a lot of injuries. So we have the next man up mentality like we talk about every week. You know, and in this conference, you know, you seen it last week with Illinois, you got to play 60 minutes of solid football. And we show lapses of doing it. But to win games, you got to play a full 60 minutes. That's what we got to get the guys to do. Play the full 60 minutes. Questions?
What's Casey Thompson's status for Saturday? That's injured.
Right now, you know, it was a look nerve in his elbow. So right now he's day to day. You know, I just wanted to hold him out today and let him see the doctors. You seen the doctors yesterday. Let him see him again today and see where he's at tomorrow.
You mentioned on the TV show that you did not expect him.
No, because he was really beat up, you know, on Saturday. But when I spoke with him on Sunday, he felt better and he looked better yesterday. I mean, he's took some hits this year, so. You know, I want to make sure I'm careful, and I'd rather say he's out than say he's in and then he don't play, you know.
When you look back at Chubb's performance, what did he struggle with, and what's the key, you know, to working with him this week, getting him more like you want out there?
I spoke to Chubba. Chubba just has to settle down. He has to breathe at that position. He can't let his emotions take over. He's got to be a true leader out there, and I thought he was trying to make plays, but he's got to understand the situation that we was in at that time when he threw the pick. That we already have 3 points, so let's make the score 20-12. You throw a pick and they go up and they kick a field goal, and now they up 23-9. So he's got to understand situations, and I thought he had a really good day today. Just talking to him, Chubba's a kid that we got to talk to every play. Sometimes you don't want to do that with quarterbacks, but it's a little different with Chubba. Chubba's got to talk, and he's young. Chubba's young. He's a young quarterback, not a whole bunch of reps. So we got to make sure this week that we do a really good job with him, reminding what situation he's in, and if it's not there, throw it away. If it's not there, run. Don't slide.
Yeah. Do you even the reps out with him, and obviously Casey could be in it, but with Smothers and Chubba, or
they both took even number of reps with the ones today. You're right. I went back and forth. They took even number of reps with the ones today. They both did.
Did you feel like going in to last week that Chuba got enough reps in practice? You alluded to it after.
Your backup never gets a whole bunch of reps. It's impossible to do that because you're only out there for 2 hours and you got to get your one guy ready. So he didn't get the reps as a 1, but he got reps as a 2. But for him to perform, I think he needs reps as a 1. So you're right, he needs more reps, and we're gonna get him more reps this week.
Chubba, what makes you say that like he needs to keep his emotions in check? What do you see on the film that makes you say that?
He plays nervous sometimes. And I just want him to breathe and calm down because he plays better. If you go back to his high school film, he's playing with a lot of confidence. You can go back and watch that. You can see him playing with poise. He's got to have more poise behind the center when he goes in the game. He wants to make a play so bad that, you know, he makes a bad play. And he's not trying, he just makes a bad play. So we got to calm him down. We got to do a better job as coaches to get him ready. And it starts with me.
How can you do that?
Just like I said, talk to him every play. Say something to him every play. Hey, you're doing this. Hey, that's a great job. Okay, you're doing this. That's a great job. You know, just remind him of situations that he's in because remember now, he hadn't played a lot of college football.
How do their different skill sets, Chuba versus Logan, impact the way that you have to game plan as you get closer to Saturday?
Well, you know, Logan's more of an option guy, and Chuba's more of a drop back guy that can run. So you have an option guy and a drop back guy. So that's the difference in the skills, just probably the feet. Logan probably can flip it a little better than Chuba, and Chuba probably can throw it overhand a little better than Logan.
So is it twice as much work for the offensive staff to get things ready for?
No, because that old system stayed with us. We kept that old system in. So no, it's not extra work for them. But if it is, you know, that's their job.
Can you envision a scenario where they both play almost equal reps in a game?
That can happen. That can happen. I don't know. I mean, but that can happen.
How have you seen Chuba respond to those things you pointed out? Has he been really receptive to?
No, he was better today. I spoke to him this morning, talked about calming down and playing with some poise, and he was better today at practice. I played that position, and that's not an easy position just to step in as a backup, you know. So that's why we always talk about what to our backups, what I said before. They always got to prepare like that they're a starter. And that's the problem. He's got to prepare like he was a starter as a backup, but sometimes the backup's got to play with limited reps.
How's their leadership qualities, both of those, Chuba and Logan? Because obviously people point to those guys, especially Chuba because he's a younger guy.
Yeah, they have to lead. They have to lead, and you know, we still have good leadership on the team with Travis over there and Casey's still over there, but they have to lead and they have to take charge when they're on the field. And I think the kids believe in them.
Trey, his takeaway in the Big Ten going through it this year as a coach, like what do you notice about the teams you go up against? You kind of hit on this on your show a little bit. What do you see every week around this league?
They're 23 and 24 years old. I came from the SEC, so when you looked at the SEC depth chart, if you've seen a whole bunch of juniors, that means it's a pretty good football team. But when you see a whole bunch of juniors and seniors, that means they've been in the program for a long time. They're a pretty good team. And, you know, like you got 5, 6 year seniors this week starting for Minnesota. It's another 6-year quarterback that we're going against. That's unheard of. You know, that's not happening in that other conference. So it's just an older league, but this league execute, and they don't make many mistakes. It's a well-coached league.
Did you get a chance to talk with Trey? I mean, 1 catch for 1 yard. He was obviously getting guarded pretty tight by good DBs, but, I mean, how did he sort of feel like he played?
Okay, repeat that question again, because remember, you got me last time. So I'll make you
really sorry.
No, you good. I'm just joking with you. That was my fault. But you need to come to the class that I have to go to so you can learn the rules also. Now, go ahead. Repeat your question. I'm sorry. I'm just joking with you, man.
I got you. Trey had 1 catch, 1 yard. Obviously, he was getting guarded by Witherspoon and good DBs, but how did he sort of feel like he played?
Well, I thought some of the plays he was open. Some of the plays he was covered. Trey's got to do a better job of running through the noise. I spoke with him during the game. They're going to grab you. They're grabbing him. They're going to do that. They're not going to just let Trey run. Trey's got to understand that. So when they grab you, you got to shut him and get him off you. You got to play physical every snap. And this is the first people to get in his face since he's probably been at LSU. You know, so he had to learn. He knows better. Get open. So he started pushing through. Was getting open a couple of times later on in the game.
You saw a good running back last week. You'll see another one this week. What do you like, or what have you seen in Mo Ibrahim, the Minnesota running back?
He's a monster, man. He runs low to the ground. He gets his pads down, and he finishes runs. And that's we saw that last week. Now we're gonna see it again this week. And that's one thing about this league. This league have some backs. He's a tough kid, and we got to game tackle him. A one-on-one tackle, something he probably run through that. He's got big tree trunks. You see how he's built? He's a good-looking dude.
What does it say about Ernest Hausman that earlier this season he was kind of benched after the first couple of games, and then he fought his way back up to the depth chart and he played the way that he played on Saturday?
Yes, I mean, we're proud of Ernest. You know, we had Nick and Luke out there, and Ernest wasn't coming along like we wanted him to, but he kept getting better every day in practice. He kept getting mental reps, and when he got in, he took advantage of his reps. So we're happy where Ernest is at right now, and you can see he's talking with more confidence right now. He's talking more on the field. He's communicating better. So we enjoy what we're seeing Ernest at right now.
What did he need to improve on to get back onto the field after he fell down the depth chart?
He had to understand that it's Saturday afternoon and not Friday nights, and that's a lot of freshmen. They got to understand that it's not Friday night. You're not the best person on the field, so now you got to rely on your technique. And I think Barrett does a really good job with those guys as far as their technique, and he had to learn how to do it. He's probably never used those techniques in high school because he was the best player.
Kind of a nuts and bolts item, but did Jalen Weaver working with the O-line now?
Yes.
What about that move that you kind of like?
He came to me. So he called me on a Saturday afternoon on an off week and said, I want to meet with you. So I was happy that he said he wanted to get over there and help us. I think he's going to be a really good O-lineman once Donnie gets him and trains him a little bit.
Tackle or guard?
Tackle.
Couple more.
Are any of the O-line, I mean, Bando's been out, Williams, could they be in the equation this week, or what's their situation?
Vandal's closer than Kevin.
Hey, Vicki, it's what you said about the Big Ten, knowing what you know about this league and the experience that you see from team to team. What do you think? What is your vision of what the perfect offense, what the ideal offense looks like. You know, irrespective of the guys that you have right now and the limitations you might have, what is the offense you think that ideally works in Nebraska's spot?
Well, if you look around and you look on this side, you got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to move people off the point. You got to be able to have a strong running game, and eat the clock up and shorten the game. That's what I see. You know, I mean, you're going to adjust to this league, you know, and that's what I'm learning. This league, they're going to run the football, they're going to eat clock, and they're going to try to keep your offense on the sideline. And that's the vision. That's where you got to get to.
Is there time to be able to do that in the last 4 games? I mean, I know this isn't a team you put together, but you are the head coach of it. Is there a way to adjust some of that based on the teams you're about to play?
Yeah, we you know, every week we go in and we try to get the run game started. You know, run game started, but you know, we like to throw the ball. But I think this week that we're going to try to rely on the run and throw it when we have to.
Is there a reason why Ramir Johnson has been a 1-play back the last 2 games? Is there something that's keeping him back, either injury-wise or development-wise,
No.
that you don't play him more often?
No, I think Coach Applewhite was comfortable with AG and Yan out there. It's nothing against Ramir. No, Ramir's practicing good. He's upbeat. He played really well on special teams.
Coach, after watching film, do you entertain the idea of going to a different quarterback other than Logan or Chubba, or was it, you know, like with Heinrich Harper or Masker, or has it always just been those 2?
No. They way down there. I can't. Not those kids. They're young. I gotta go with Chubb and Logan because they're the guys that have the experience. You know, those kids are gonna be really good quarterbacks, but not right now. Not right now.
You mentioned Tanner Morgan before briefly, a 6-year quarterback. Is he similar to the Illinois guy, the kid, the game manager, makes the throws when he has to?
You know, I think what he gets the ball out quick, but he managed the offense. He gets them in the right run plays. You know, he's been in the system with 6 years, right? I mean, he's a really good quarterback, and that's what you're facing. You're facing another guy that's going to manage the offense and get him in the right plays and not make mistakes with the football.
Is there a benefit facing a team that they kind of are similar, Minnesota and Illinois? Is there a benefit to that? Same
Yeah,
style.
I think it's a benefit. You know, it's just it's going to be another physical game, but I think the defense benefits from that. Thank you.
Questions for Garrett?
Hey, I don't think Mo played in the game last year up there in Minnesota, but you've seen him a couple of times, 2019. How good of a running back is he to face Minnesota game?
Yeah, one of the front runners for best running back in the Big Ten. You know, short bowling ball guy that runs dudes over and runs behind his pads and gets really low. But yeah, he's definitely a front runner. So we'll these last, like I think I said last week, these last 4 or 5 weeks, we're gonna see the best backs in the Big Ten and probably in the country. So.
What do you think about the challenge in front of you guys, just physically? Playing Illinois last week, then Minnesota, then Michigan, then Wisconsin. Now, you've played all of these teams. You know, what are you going to tell some of the guys that maybe weren't here last year? What this November is going to be like?
It's a Big Ten November. I mean, I don't really. Just reiterating, these guys already know. You know, we've already been in some very physical games, and we're very physical, just in our own team. So the guys know the standard. They know the opponents we're playing. But like you said, just reiterating that. Don't really have to tell anything new. Just reiterating how tough this November is going to be and how physical we need to be.
What's the challenge in stopping a Minnesota offense that converts third downs like they do? I guess what's the challenge physically and mentally too, and when they're getting all these third and shorts?
This has got to get them behind the sticks. It's the same thing with Illinois. They live in those 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 4s. Getting those guys behind the sticks and having no gains or a negative gain in 1st and 2nd down and kind of messing up their scheme, their tempo on offense, what they want to do, kind of getting them off script. That's our job up front to stop the really good running back, get them behind the sticks, get them to throw the ball and have Tanner Morgan be a QB.
When a team like that's on roll, is that almost more demoralizing than giving up one big play when they're putting together, 12, 13, 14 plays in a row?
For me, it's more in the sense of control. When a team starts gunning down a drive, there's things that are in your control that when you're a defensive lineman, you can talk to your guys and be like, hey, these next set of downs, take a breath, calm down, do your job, stay in your gap. Don't start getting nervous or anxious because these guys are starting to drive. One big play is kind of out of your control. It's usually a bomb or, something like that. But no, like I said, once you got to get those guys off script.
Nick out this last week, how do you feel the communication was with those guys in the middle and just some of the other linebackers?
They did a really good job. Reimer wore that hat really well, and Mickey was telling him all week to be a bigger voice out there. And he's going to play a lot of snaps. He's going to have to know a lot and help Ernie and Vaughn when they're out there. And those guys that rotated back there did a great job. I don't think there's even one miscommunication. There might have been one or two, but that's for 70 or 80 snaps. That's phenomenal. So those guys stepped up big time. Did a great job.
You haven't been on a team that has beaten Minnesota, right? I mean, how important? Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, I think the last win was 2018. So, I mean, how big of a deal is it? I mean, these guys have been kind of stuck in a crawl a little bit.
Yeah. I didn't really know that before you told me that. So, they're next. They're the next stop sign. I don't really. Face the nameless opponent. We know what our job we have to do. I can't really worry about that. Like I said, it's kind of out of my control. So I can. It's gonna be sick to go beat them. So stop that streak. But like I said, just control the things you control. We know what our job, what we have to do, and the players that we have to key on.
As a guy on the defense, how close do you pay attention to the offensive situation right now? A quarterback, kind of not knowing who's going to be your quarterback out there this week.
Those guys being my teammates, I know how hard that QB room works and how good of guys they are and how good of players they are, so I'm not worried about that. The coaches put us in the best situation, and who's ever out there has my full faith and trust to go get it done and run the offense.
What are some things each of those other quarterbacks, Chubb and Logan, do well when you've had to defend them in practice?
Yeah, they do. They're really, really good runners. They run the ball really well. Chubb was a little, gunslinger, and Logan does a good job with the experience of knowing the offense, of what to do. Chubb is being a new guy in the new system. So, but both of them are phenomenal quarterbacks, and they'll do a good job. And whoever they choose, like I said, they're going to do a great job. So.
Two more for Garrett.
How do you feel like Coach Joseph has navigated you guys through these ups and downs of the season? And how much do you feel like, being a defensive player, you've gotten to know him much better since he's taken over?
Yeah, I can't. He's done probably the best job anybody could do in this situation that he was put in, especially we have been put in. He quickly found out how much he actually, he cares about us through going through all this. Stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't see, but he's done probably the best job anybody else could do, and I can't thank him enough for it. He's put us in the best situations. He's talked to us, he's managed us, he's really been there for everybody on the team for whatever they need going through this roller coaster. So he's done a phenomenal job.
You said that the coaches are working with Chubb on trying to talk to him after every play and sort of build up his confidence. How have you seen him progress in that regard?
Yeah, well, I would like to think Chubb is a pretty confident guy, but you start hearing it from other people. I'm sure you're kind of your hype man, trying to hype you up, but that guy has enough internal confidence that I wouldn't think he would need that, but I'm sure the support's awesome. But like I said, if he's the guy, he's going to do a great job. Full faith.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
different is it just not knowing who the quarterback's going to be this week? Just how you guys prepare for a game like Minnesota?
You know, we try not to think about it. You know, it's always next man up mentality. We're confident in the guys that we have, so if it's either Logan or Trouble, you know, we just got to go with it. So we know what they're capable of and focus on the goal for this weekend.
How much experience do you have working with those guys in practice?
We got a lot of experience because, you know, 7-on-7, we have 2 quarterbacks throwing, you know, different type of routes. You know, we always routes on air. We getting routes thrown to us from spring ball to fall camp. So, you know, we've been getting used to them throwing. It's not just like Casey's always throwing us the ball. So we got experience with them.
What are some different strengths each of those two men have?
Arm strength kind of sort of with Chuba. You know, Chuba throws he got a stronger arm to me. Comes out a little bit harder. So that's really much it.
He didn't have his best game Saturday, but you've seen him a lot more of them in the practices and stuff. What have you seen out of it beyond the arm strength and the throw game? He had some pretty, you know, impressive days. Or what stands out to you just overall about him?
His confidence when he throws the ball. You know, he has to be poised. Everybody has to be poised in order for this offense to work. So, you know, just working all together as leaders, making sure we stay on top of each other, handle our responsibilities, and we'll be fine.
I think you said Chuba was playing nervous on Saturday. How did you see that, and how do you try to help a guy when that's happening?
Excuse me?
Mickey said that Chuba was playing nervous on Saturday. What did you see in that regard, and how do you help a guy in that situation?
Just calm him down, talk to him, you know, tell the guys that, you know, we got his back no matter what. Whatever decision he make, we with it. Just play his game, you know. Everybody's going to be in a position that they're not comfortable with, and it's our job as teammates to make sure we got his back. So just make sure that he's calm and focused and, you know that we got him no matter what. So that's really it.
Yeah, we've seen maybe I've taken for granted somewhat his experience and the kind of calming effect that he brings to the offense. What, in your experience, playing with Casey now for as long as you have, what are your observations about the impact that he has on all of those guys on offense when he's out?
He's a great leader. You know, we all can see how focused and poised he is when he's on the field, off the field, when he comes to the sideline. He talks to us. He always calls the receivers together. We tell him what we see, he tell us what he sees. So there's a lot of communication between Casey and all the players. So that's one of the big factors that I've seen so far. That's why he's been here.
Now that you've seen some film, what does Minnesota do on the back end that you think you could take advantage of, or just how you match up against them?
I see like they're a big quarters team, so they got 2 pretty decent safeties. One I'm very known with, Tyler Newbin, so he's from Chicago, so I'm kind of familiar with him. So, and then also playing against him the past 2 years, so kind of same thing that we've been going against the same 2 years, you know. Good tacklers, decent corners. So it's a good matchup for us and a good opportunity to show, once again, for the receiver group to match up against a good defensive group. So that's really it.
Are you guys friends, or have you played against each other back in high school?
No, we didn't play against each other, but we're friends, of course. You know, just knowing, being from Chicago and being some of the top athletes that come out of Chicago, of course, there's going to be a lot of communication, seeing each other at camps and, you know, going against each other at camps and just keeping a relationship as we go against each other as we in college. So that's really it.
What's it like to meet someone way back when and then you guys see each other on a stage like this?
It's crazy because, you know, seeing them grow up and, you know, seeing them on the next level, you know, it's a dream to continue to go against your friend at the next level and seeing them doing good and also seeing us doing good. So it just brings joy to both of us, and, you know.
Minnesota's one of the best teams at stopping opponents from converting third downs. How do you feel like you guys are doing in that arena, and maybe what's an emphasis on converting this?
We just have to execute minor details. It's always about details. Pick up the right blocks, make the right reads, run the right routes, the right depths, focus on our weaknesses, and we'll be fine for this weekend. So we just got to make sure we execute and be as detailed as we can to get them third downs.
On those third down situations?
We could do a little bit better, you know. As an offense, you always expect us to make that play. So in our head, we always want to make the third down. So if we don't make it, it's always, what can we do better? What do we need to do? What do we need to line up faster? Do we need to get right longer depth? Do we need to make a different breed? So it's always about what we can fix if we don't get the third down. So that's really it.
Trey only had 1 catch on Saturday. Illinois was pretty handsy with their coverage against him. What's the counter to that when the guy's being physical with you?
We really don't try to worry about that. We play our game, so it's not like Trey's the only receiver on the team. We got multiple people on the team that can make plays. So if one guy is not getting the ball, then we expect somebody else to step up. So that's really it.
How do you think you guys have been doing in terms of your run blocking? Has Kaz said anything about that area of your game?
Yeah, our perimeter blocking has to be way better. Definitely when recognizing coverages, if it's man, if it's quarters, if we need to crash down the safety, if we need to stay on the corner, if we need to go down on linebacker. So just reading coverages and making sure we have the right leverages and driving our feet, that's a big emphasis though. Staying on the man and driving our feet. So that's one thing we continue to work on every day. So that's going to be a big emphasis this week.
Anything else for Alontae? All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Hey. How's it going?
Saw a pretty good running back this week, another one coming up. How do you feel you guys have kind of handled that challenge of a tough runner?
Yeah, I think last week we did a decent job containing Chase Brown, obviously one of the best backs in the country. And a lot of that comes down to, defeating our blocks up front, staying in our gaps. And it's going to be another big challenge this week. This guy's really good too. Obviously came back off of a Achilles injury last year. Still has almost 1,000 yards already. So it'll be a big challenge, especially up front, but we're ready for it.
Cole, you see a lot of teams in this division that want to impose their will with their offensive line. Wisconsin, Iowa certainly come to mind. Where does Minnesota fit, do you think, among that list of programs and just their commitment to being physical and strong up front on offense?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing to them. I think they're up there, like you said, with Wisconsin, Iowa, wanting to establish a run game. Obviously, bigger bodies, bigger O-linemen, so they're obviously going to try and run the ball. So we're going to have to stop the run and make them throw it.
What's this year been like for you? I mean, just at this point in the season, you have played. You thought you were going to play a lot, and you have played a lot. What's it been like going through the grind and doing this kind of for your first season like this?
Yeah, obviously this is my first season with a starting job and playing an extended amount of snaps. So obviously the recovery part is huge, Big Ten play, obviously, now. You're going to get a little beat up. You're going to be sore the next day. Taking all that. We always talk about investing our time recovering instead of spending it. So just kind of having that mindset with trying to get yourself ready for the next game, practice, stuff like that. So
Mickey said the thing that has stood out to him about this league, coaching it the first time, is how many 23, 24-year-olds there are and just stuff in the trenches. Is that something, especially in the trenches, you got to really stack up experience and guys who've been around a while?
Yeah, I was talking to someone out there earlier. This isn't usually a league where you just come in and play in your first year, first 2 years. especially at O-line and D-line. Obviously, it takes a while to develop, to put on the weight, get the technique down. And you do see some of these guys play, 3-4 years. And obviously, each year they're probably going to get better and better. So, yeah, you obviously do see a lot of 4th, 5th, 6th-year guys in those starting roles in this league.
Well, how do you feel like you guys have played third down defense? How do you feel like that's gone? And what's the challenge for Minnesota, which is going to have a lot of third and shorts or hopes of?
Yeah, I think obviously we did decent last week against Chase Brown. I think there's definitely some plays that we wish we had back. Guys out of their gap maybe, D-line not getting enough knockback, stuff like that. But, yeah, like you said, obviously we got another challenge this week. We have the 24-hour rule. We watch the film and put it behind us and getting ready for Minnesota. So it'll be another challenge. Their O-line's good too, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Mickey was talking about Jalen Weaver moving to the offensive line. I'm just curious, from someone who's worked alongside him for a while, what's he been all about? What have you seen from him behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think that's his position at heart. He moves really well. He's an athletic guy. I think you give him a couple years at tackle, he'll be really, really good. So I think that was a good move by our staff. So I think he's liking it too over there, from what I've heard.
Why do you think that's his position?
Oh, I don't know. I just think that's a good question. I don't know. I think he's more just of a natural lineman than he is D lineman. He's 300 and however many pounds. He's high 300s. So I know they wish he was losing a little weight on the defensive line, but moving to the offensive line, and I guess we'll see how it works out. So.
What did he show you, during your time working with him on the defensive line?
Yeah, he's super athletic. Like you would see when we do sprints in the summer. I mean, he'd be right up there with everyone. Like the dude can move. If you've seen him in high school, he was a little bit skinnier, but he could move. He could really move. So he's just super athletic. And when you get an athletic tackle, those are going to be good guys if they can move, block. So I think he's got a good future there.
Colton, you'll be playing the rest of the season without Nick at linebacker. How do you feel the first game went?
Yeah, I think Nick is obviously a huge part of our defense. Big communicator, getting the stuff set and all that, the front set and everything. Luke's done a good job. He's kind of taken over that role of communication. But obviously our Ernest, Chris, all those guys, they've done a great job. I think they did a good job last game of stepping in when their number's called. So, yeah, we're going to be without Nick for the rest of the season, so we're going to have to step up.
Colton, how do you guys feel about the pass rush the past couple of weeks? Has Coach Bush kind of talked to you guys about getting after the quarterback a little more aggressively, or how you
Yeah, I think maybe our pass rush, you haven't seen as many sacks as maybe you would like. I think that's for a couple different reasons. If you really digest these games, maybe there's not as many opportunities as people think to get sacks. Sometimes it'll be 3-step where you literally have, 2 seconds to get to the quarterback. Or maybe they'll be in max protection, stuff like that. So I think they're making it hard on us for sure. Other teams are. They're not just dropping back every play, and holding the ball. So.
Now that you've gotten to know Coach Joseph, since he talks to you guys every day now in the last few months, how much better do you feel like you know him now as opposed to maybe the start of the year? And what are some maybe his best qualities that you feel he's brought to this position?
Yeah, I think Coach Joseph is a really good coach. He's really personable. He'll tell you what he likes, what he doesn't, what you need to do. And that's a good thing as a head coach, hearing from him maybe when you need to get going a little more or something like that. So I think he's done a really good job of really getting the team together. And as you've seen, we're not giving up or anything like that. So I think he's done a great job of leading us.
Not that you didn't know him when he was a position coach, but could you tell he made a concerted effort to really connect with the defensive guys just as much?
I mean, yeah, he's a real talkative guy. He'll go out of his way to talk to you. Even when he was the wide receivers coach, he'd still be a guy full of energy and like he is now. I mean, I wouldn't really say he's changed much. He's just kind of, taking on the leadership role of the whole team now. So he's done a great job.
The other side of the football, obviously, with Casey, but how does that injury and his uncertainty of his availability on Saturday affect you guys on defense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be behind anyone who's going to be the quarterback, whether it's Chuba, Logan, whoever it is. So if Casey's down, he's down. We're gonna be fighting for whoever is out there. So
you guys are, I think, 16-point underdogs at home. I guess against Minnesota. How does that sit with you? And it's a pretty big number. I know you guys don't care about it.
No, yeah, I mean, that's going to light a fire under us. I didn't really know that, but you just telling me that kind of fires me up. So we're going to practice hard this week, get ready for Minnesota, do everything we can to put ourselves in position to win this game.
Thank you, Cole.
Chancellor, how did Saturday's game, especially the second half, feel for you while you were out?
We just got to execute. It's frustrating looking back at it. We had a great game plan. Coach put us in great positions. Had a great week of practice. Probably our best week of practice. Had a little off day on Thursday, but it wasn't anything major. And we just got to execute. That's all that is.
The screenplay that you had, that play out of that concept come to be, and what worked about it?
They weren't respecting teams that we played weren't respecting that position out the backfield, so we just took advantage of it, got some yards out of it.
Tough defenses. What's it like playing tight ends in the Big Ten now that you're in the meat of the Big Ten schedule and you got a couple physical defenses? How do you like playing tight ends, matching up against their linebackers and defensive ends?
You said what? One more time?
Just what's it like playing tight ends in the Big Ten now that you've had some physical games and got another physical stretch ahead of you?
It's fun. I mean that's the thing. I mean, Illinois was a good defense, but when Coach Beck does a great job, we're prepared for it. So when we play against big defenses, we're prepared. And honestly, if just in our room specifically, our grades have been the highest against big defenses, big opponents. But it's our job as leaders and as older guys, especially like me and Trav, to bring other groups along with us.
Why do you guys think you've played so well against some of the bigger guys?
Just preparation during the week, extra film watch, knowing the assignment first of all, and then going and executing. And that's one thing Mickey said we have to do. And I know Coach Mick going to say it's on him, and that's one thing he's been saying. But as players and as leaders, that's on us. We have a great game plan each week. Every game we lost this year, we had a great game plan going into it. We just got to execute. And that starts with me, myself. I think I had an MA last game, and if I do that play a little bit better, then we probably hit that play. And that's just doing your 1/11th, and that's how important every play is.
What kind of an impact does that have on you, or how does that leave you guys feeling when Coach Joseph says that he said that multiple times,
right,
that it's on him? So does that take pressure off of you, or what does that do to the players in the locker room?
If anything, it's frustrating because we know his intentions, but at the end of the day, like, we're a player-led team, and we have enough accountability on the team to watch. First, we're out there playing it. Then when we look back and watch the film, it's not on him. He's put us in great positions, and that just goes to speak of who he is as a person and what type of character he has, just to take accountability for things. But at the end of the day, that's on us as players.
You talk about preparation and stuff. How difficult or challenging is it when there's so much uncertainty at the quarterback position?
I mean, for my position specifically, it doesn't really change our job. It's more so, if anything, it's you might gotta be more vocal if younger guys are getting reps. But as of right now, we just gotta focus on game plan and make sure we execute during this week.
Probably didn't have a good Saturday, but what have you seen from him throughout the whole off season and stuff? It's some things that give you confidence in him, maybe grow in that position?
Well, I mean, I've known the Purdy family for a long time. Our dads actually played baseball together. Our dads played with the Giants together. But Chuba a great kid, and he gonna bounce back from whatever. I'm certain of that. I got faith in him and faith in the team. So, but I also got faith in anyone who goes in. Like, we well prepared, and that's been the theme of these past couple of weeks is just execute. Whoever's in got to execute, and they know that.
How far back does your relationship go with Chuba?
I played against his older brother, Brock. We played baseball together growing up a little bit. My dad was Brock's baseball coach for a little bit. Our dads were pitchers on the same team. But I really got to know Chuba when he was here. He was a little bit younger than me.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Questions?
Ernest, what's the area you think you've grown most this season so far?
I think the area I've grown most in is just kind of just understanding the game of football. And just, each week there's a lot of new things that'll be presented to me just as a true freshman, and just how the defense, how these different offenses attack us. So just having a better understanding of each defensive call and just kind of knowing where the offense is going to try to attack us. And it's been really helping me out and just been allowing me to play more fast.
Hey, Ernest, what was the key for you? You played a little bit early and then kind of got maybe demoted a little bit. And what was your mindset at that point as you've kind of risen back up?
Kind of just trust the process. That's kind of how it's been for me since I came here to Nebraska, and just kind of where I'm at, just trusting the whole process through. I have a great support staff, the coaching staff, and my teammates as well. So just staying the course.
I can't imagine that's happened a ton to you before, where a coach had to sit you down. How did you handle that?
I also understand that it's a business here playing college football. You're gonna put your best 11 out there that they're gonna think is gonna put themselves in the best position to win a football game. So you just learn that you don't take that personally. That's how it is, and you just stay the process and be the best so you can support your teammates and your football team.
Ernest, despite kind of some of the strange turns of this season, coaching change in the middle of the year, losing more than you'd want to, can you speak to your feelings about this place and just your level of optimism about everything moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like this team, we have a bunch of great guys. We're just tough-witted, and we just have so much fight in this each week to be able to just come out, each week and prepare the right way and put our best foot forward for each game. So, I think we have a really great team, really great group of guys, and great coaching staff that just, we just don't stop fighting.
What are your thoughts long term, though? I mean, you're just a true freshman. You have a lot of time in front of you about where you think this is going.
I feel really great about Nebraska and where it's going. I feel like, I know there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of areas, but, for me right now, it's just a lot of focus about each week, each game, just one day at a time for us. Our motto is day by day, and that's kind of how we just attack things each day.
For being a true freshman, Ernest, I mean, this pretty much since you've gotten here, there's been a lot of change and turnover, and you played, and then you kind of, as people say, got demoted. So what has this year sort of been like for you? I mean, it's a lot happening for a freshman.
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups and downs, I'd say for sure. But like I said, each day you got to put your best foot forward, no matter kind of what you feel. And like, there's a lot of guys out there count on you. Got a great fan base out here in Nebraska. So no matter despite what you're feeling, you got to just each day show out.
Does it help to have Luke out there playing next year?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the group of guys I have at the inside linebacker position, you know, I've been blessed with, and the great coaching staff as well. You know, they've helped me. You know, I wouldn't be here without them. Just be able to be with each step of the way. I can ask any question I want to, and just help me out each week.
Talked about the difference between playing on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons. For you, just from a physical perspective, how can you describe how different it is playing against the Big Ten offenses from what we were seeing last year?
Yeah, I'd say the difference in high school and college football, I'd say there's just that split second time that you think that in high school you might have the extra time to make a decision. It's in college, you just got to make that decision just a little bit quicker. So just that, knowing that, you know, we play each week and just having more experience, knowing that I'd say early on, I'd maybe hesitate and stuff like that, but then now, for say, just making that quicker decision.
How much more physical is it?
A lot more physical, for sure.
Was there a specific moment early on where you realized that split second difference? Maybe a play happened faster than you expected.
You know, I'd say, you know, coming here early really helped me out, playing spring football, getting my feet wet in that sense. So I was able to experience that early on for sure. But then as well, you know, game speed is a lot different than I know we try to harp on, you know, practice speed, but there's definitely instances in the game where you kind of have to learn with experience that when can you make this decision and when can you not.
Anything else for Ernest? All right, thank you.
Thank you.